excited. I think, because I know the whole plan for this is that it kind of follows the manga a little bit closer, which means that Riza has a bigger part. So, that's exciting.
If you had to absolutely kiss anyone on the FMA voice actors cast, who would it be?
Like an actual voice actor?
Travis!
I already kissed Travis, we did a play together.
That doesn't count.
That totally counts. We made out on a desk, whatever. Aaron digs me because I like to live life on the edge and I could be arrested. Actually, they're in the middle of the casting right now, and there are obviously some decisions that Mike is going about, so I can't say anything about that. I imagine you are not the only fan who would like to audition. Yeah.
Who's gonna be Al? I'm terrified of that.
Oh, I know.
Right? That's the big question.
Yes. I don't know anyone heard it.
Well, you're gonna ask me, are you still bringing back the cast, or you're just gonna like
It will be largely the same.
Two voice actors are the start Funimation.
I can't actually hear you.
Two voice actors already threatened Funimation if they don't get the cast. Like Travis threatened and they also threatened.
Well, I can see why both of those would threaten. Yeah, no, I, for the most part, the cast of Full Metal is going to be the same, but I really would not be the person to ask about this because Mike McFarland is directing and producing it this time, so.
My question's more about Soul Eater. A lot of people are wondering who Soul's voice is from the teaser trailer. Can you tell us who it is? Because rumors say it's a new guy.
I can't say anything. If it's not announced, you guys, seriously, if you can't find it on the internet, I can't say it. I can't say it until they let me, because it's a breach of contract, so. But Soul Eater is gonna be awesome.
Yay!
It's gonna be really, really good, and I think Zach is doing a terrific job with it. What was it like working on One Piece? Painful, but fun. One Piece is one of those series that it goes on for so long that you really get to know your character, which is awesome. You just don't get that chance a lot of the time. Most of the time with anime, it's like 26 episodes and you're done. Sometimes 6. So with Luffy, I got to go through the whole honeymoon phase of new voice, fun, painful. I don't know what to do anymore because I've done all the funny stuff. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Oh, okay, I get it. He's fun again. And now I love it. I can't record more than 3 or 4 hours of him at a time, depending on what he's doing. If he's fighting Eneru, then I cannot do more than 3 hours. If he's looking for meat watermelons or whatever, raw ham melons, then I can do 4. But yeah, that pretty much shredded my voice. If you listen to an interview with me when I first started and an interview with me now, I have a lower voice now. A la Luffy.
First of all, I want to say that I am astounded about Evangelion 1.0 coming out. Yay! I'm really excited to hear all the redubbing.
Of what?
Of Evangelion 1.0.
Oh, okay.
And I just want to say that awesome Ritsuko.
Thanks.
And I was just curious, before being given the role as Ritsuko, did you ever go into the recording booth with an understanding about Evangelion? Like, had you already seen Evangelion before you went to the recording booth?
I actually hadn't seen any of it. I knew about it, and I mean, I've been friends with those guys for so long. I've certainly heard about it, but I hadn't watched any. And we didn't hold auditions for that. That was just Mike had to come up with a cast on the spot, and so I just kind of lucked into it. It had nothing to do with me, but I liked playing her. I get to now say that I was a part of Evangelion, which is awesome.
What do you think One Piece is?
Where? What? Who?
What do you think One Piece is?
What do I think it is?
Yeah, you know, because they're on the press, like One Piece.
Oh, what do I think the treasure is? You know what? Luffy's hoping it's a plot of meat. I'm hoping that it never happens because that means the show goes on and on and on. But my guess with the way the show is, like with that aw way the show can be, it's probably something like knowledge. Or like somebody made up the One Piece to make you go on a journey because they thought people should go on journeys. Because it's the journey that matters. Yeah, you've gained all this experience. That's the One Piece. Congratulations. One piece of knowledge. Yeah. So I don't know.
That'd be so disappointing.
It would be disappointing if they didn't get it. If they just end.
They're like, what?
But I hope they don't get it for many, many seasons. Anybody else?
Did you do some of your voices for?
There's always one. Let's see, which voices?
Do Riza first.
Riza, I will totally do Riza, but just so you know, it's like my voice. Yugo is a little different. Riza is just, she's not even lower than my voice anymore. Let's see, you know you're useless in the rain. That's it. Yuko's a little lower than that.
There you go.
There's no such thing as coincidence. There's only inevitability. Luffy. Oh man! I thought I was gonna get to see a goat. Yeah, the new film from Little Episodes is currently recording at Funimation right now. Yeah. Doing Luffy or doing Hima? Doing Luffy. Hima just doesn't show up for that long a period of time. Luffy's in every episode for 80 lines an episode, so that's just way more taxing. But Hima, if I had to do her for, I probably couldn't do her for any longer than I could do 3 or 4 hours. It's a different kind of her too. Luffy is scruffy and yelly, and Hima's just pinched. You have to pinch off your voice to do it.
Was there a debate after you guys did the last one? Was there a debate in Japan of like who was going to get it, or was it automatic status?
It was not. She asked if it was a debate in Japan about who was going to get the new Full Metal, or if it automatically went to us, and it wouldn't have automatically gone to us had we not been willing to pay what they were interested in getting. You know, that kind of thing. It's a business, and it's always a business, and I think a lot of times fans get disappointed with a company for not going with the same, but if they're not paid for it, like they need to make money off of it too. So thankfully it all worked out. But they liked how we handled it, so we certainly had first right of refusal. I can't say too much about it, but I will say that we're not changing a lot of stuff. By we, I mean Mike is not changing a lot of stuff up. He's gonna stick with as much of the regular cast as he can. And if he changes anybody, it would be for a very good reason.
Okay, I know I think someone spoke of it was a Megacon, but do you still have any information on the Tsubasa OVAs yet?
Please!
I don't have any new information. Any information that I could give you would already be announced. So you will know about it as soon as I can tell you about it. Keep checking the Funimation website.
Do you guys at Funimation ever miss the old days of Funimation Update? Because I sure do. They were really
Funimation Update with Todd, you mean?
With
the
Todd?
webcast?
Oh, yeah.
I thought those were
I actually
hilarious.
got Mike McFarland on that. I asked him about cross-dressing. That was totally
I think those things were hilarious. They were doing webcasts with Todd Habercorn was hosting it, and it would be it was just so funny. It was really well done, and it stopped because it takes a lot of money to do it, and they're not making any money from it. So that was something they could do while they just had an extra bit laying around.
amazing.
What did you think about the Full Metal Chibi Party OVA?
Oh, I thought it was fun. I thought all the OVAs were fun. There was some sort of resentment in my heart, like, let's just do the next season. That's great and all. OVAs, yay, whatever. Let's do it. But I mean, they were fun.
On Twitter, somebody from Funimation, they tweet things that's going on at Funimation. How is that all the time? Do you have any stories about that?
About the power being out? I think I left right before it happened, but that certainly wouldn't be the first time the power went out. They pass out flashlights, and then you wait. there's nothing you can't record, obviously, so it's just kind of waiting to see when it comes back on. But little things like that will happen. Things that make things that make you stop recording. I'm trying to think. I don't know, like snow days or something like that. But hailstorms. That was one. We were all in the middle of recording, and a hailstorm happened. My back windshield got knocked out, and my whole car got dented. And so, in the middle of recording, all of us are standing there under the balcony, staring out at our cars, going, "No! Oh no! This is bad!" And I think finally we just left. It's hard to leave in the middle of a hailstorm, though. But we went out and danced in it for a little while. Sorry. One more time. List of things you cannot eat or drink before you record? That's an interesting question. Yeah, you can't chocolate, you can't eat chocolate, you can't drink milk. Although, the exception to that rule is I eat chocolate or drink milk whenever I'm doing Luffy, because it gives me a lot of phlegm to play with, and my throat doesn't get shredded. But usually it makes you too messy. Trying to think of other things. You should eat green apples or drink wine. Not much. There's water, obviously. Soda, you're not supposed to. I do. It's bad. Anything that's that sugary is really bad.
It's salty, right? Like not salty stuff.
No, salt is not bad. Do what? I drink a lot of diet, whatever, wherever I go. No, I wouldn't have done that. Actually, I've always been an actress, and I graduated from Florida State with a degree in acting. And then I moved back to Dallas, and while I had started doing more theater there, I did professional theater, I did a show with Laura Bailey, who is Lust and Full Metal Alchemist, yeah. And I got to be really good friends with her. We actually were roommates, and she brought me up to she was trying to get me in at Funimation, so her way of doing it was bringing me up to watch her record, and Chris Bevins was recording her in Dragon Ball GT, and he just asked if I wanted to scream, so I got in the booth and screamed. And that got me the audition for Rachel in Case Closed, which got me the part of Eclair in Kitty Grade, which is my first role.
Is there any truth to the rumor that there's been a Funimation outside of the second season of Fedosha? Or do you think that ever...
I haven't heard any of that. I would love if that was the case, but I haven't heard anything about the second season of Kodocha.
When you first started doing anime stuff, did you think it was really weird at first?
When I first started doing anime, did I think it was weird? And yes, I had never seen anime before. So when I first, actually, when I was roommates with Laura, I started watching some of the stuff that she had done just to see what it was all about. And it freaked me out for the first, I don't know, maybe 2 shows that I watched. And after that, you just forget that it's weird. Like, there comes a point where that's just what cartoons look like now. And it seems weird to me when I turn on the channel and I watch something that an American has drawn, and it's like, where are their eyes? I don't get this.
Florida State, does that mean that you're a Florida native?
No, I'm not a Florida native. I actually went to Florida State specifically for the theater program, out of state.
Okay.
So.
How do you feel about Funimation having a lot of their videos on YouTube? Like, I know there's a lot of the brothers on there.
They try to keep a lid on that. She's asking, how do I feel about YouTube displaying a lot of Funimation dubs? They try to keep a lid on that, and obviously, please don't do it. There's only so much they can do. They can't erase it every single day.
Funimation has their own channel where they were showing a lot of stuff like
If they do something like that, that's promotional. That's something that they're doing, which is why they have it on like Hulu and stuff like that, because if you see the series, then you're more likely to buy the series. That's how it goes, and we're not getting a lot on TV lately because they're kind of drifting away from anime on TV. Yeah. So
boring.
so that's the way they're doing it now. If it's Funimation sponsored, terrific. If it's not, then report it. Hang on, let's see who else. Anybody else? Yeah. Sorry, one more time. They're always going to be adding new shows to the Funimation channel. I don't ever know the schedule of when that happens. That's a completely different side of the building. So I don't know. But I like that they're doing it. And I love that our stuff is on iTunes now. That's cool. I like that when I go to my iTunes and I look at TV, the stuff that's new and notable will be like Full Metal Alchemist. Like, oh. New and notable. I'm in it.
What's the most challenging voice for you to do? And do we favorite moments in Case Closed doing?
The most challenging voice for me to do is probably Maso in One Piece. Not only is he hard on my voice, and he's not as hard as Luffy on my voice, he's difficult to stay in voice. It's difficult for me to find him. Like, they frequently have to play my reference line for me over and over again during the session. So like every time I'm about to do a line, it's like, wait, play the reference? So he's the most difficult. And what was the other part of the question?
Favorite moments you favorite all Case Closed?
Favorite moments from Case Closed. Starting out, that was when I first started, so it's kind of hard to remember. Do what? There's not a lot that I've done recently. I guess I just did one in Studio E, which was kind of weird getting back into that voice. It's like, oh wow, I sounded young. But I really like her. She's a lot of fun. She's very natural. I like to play, I know a lot of voice actors really like to play the character roles and try to be new characters, and I do. I definitely enjoy that, finding what else I can do. But I really love it when I'm given a part that's me, and I can just act, and it feels more natural. It feels like being on stage again, because I can actually get into the character, and when an emotional scene comes up, I can like dig my teeth into it. And that happens in things like Rumbling Hearts or Salty Ray was one of them, Kitty Grade. Those, like, it really feels like there are moments when I'm in character, which is difficult when you're voice acting, because how often am I gonna feel like I really am a teenage boy pirate captain made of rubber? Never feel completely in character.
Which character can you relate to the most in real life?
There would be different reasons for different characters. I think Mitsuki in Rumbling Hearts is probably the one that is most... I hesitate to say like me because she does some pretty not cool things, but like me just in that she was three-dimensional and she felt realistic, so.
Do you ever watch a show that you were in and like listen to yourself talking and get weirded out?
Very rarely, because I never watch shows that I'm in. I get a DVD every time I do a lead character. I get a DVD or the box set or whatever at the end of it, and I'm like, thanks. I'm not gonna watch that. I can't. For one thing, I've already done it, and I don't wanna watch it again. And for another thing, it's hard to watch something when it's been completed and not go, oh, I could've done this. Ah, I should've done this. Stop it, just stop it. I would call that a rumor. I really have not heard anything about that. But that's not to say that I would necessarily. They could be keeping it underground in the basement with the ogres. Oh, that sounds to me like they're just asking, what would you like to come out of Funimation? That's like one of those poll things. Yeah, I wouldn't put any stock in that. Everybody liked the original. Anybody else? I want to do somebody who hasn't asked a question yet. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to speak up. heard the first part. Do I remember what my first role was? And then I didn't hear the second part. There's a lot of stuff going on. Yell. I really can't hear you. That's very sweet. Yeah, sure. My first role. Aww, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Excuse me. It's a loopy keychain. So cute. I'll put it on my purse. Just a bit. Oh, no. All video of that must now be erased.
Sorry.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Where's my lovely liaison? Guess what your actor did?
That's okay, I'll take care of it.
Thank you. Can you get me one too? Sure. Thank you. I just lost mine. I just finished mine.
That's not a
We'll
safe
edit
place
it
to
down.
put it.
Yeah, seriously. That's freaking perfect. What's in the back?
You rock!
Not that Texan.
I'll put that on ground level.
Okay, I'm gonna stand for a while. Sorry, there will be a short intermission. Somebody give me some music. Thank you. This is awesome. You're entertaining. Hi.
What was your first role? What was my first role? I was in the ensemble of Grease. Oh wait, no, scratch that. Before that, I was a flying monkey in the Wizard of Oz. Not kidding either. Where'd my music go? Sound of Music. What?
That was my first role. As Elsa Schrader in Sound of Music.
Me lady?
Yeah, me.
Okay. All right, we are back to your regularly scheduled programming. What was I answering? My first role. Okay. So I auditioned for Rachel in Case Closed. That was my first audition. This is kind of convoluted. So that was my first audition. Because of that audition, I first got cast as Eclair in Kitty Grade, but while they were still deciding about Case Closed. Before I could do that, I did a short 2-episode part called Column in Dragon Ball GT, which was an Irish little boy, who to this day I have not heard. I have never heard myself do that role. I have no idea what it sounded like. It was the first thing I'd ever attempted. I'm guessing it doesn't sound like an Irish little boy.
It's always weird
So.
when they give them NPCs when they put it in English.
Yeah. Okay, so yes.
Do weird things ever just happen when you all get bored at Funimation or something?
Sure.
Any stories we can hear?
Yeah, when we get bored at Funimation. Let's see. We do a lot of scaring each other. The engineers, when they get bored at Funimation, they take things that we have done, sounds that we've made, lines that we've said, outtakes that we have, and make raps of them. One of the first experiences I had with that was I had done some fighting reactions for Kitty Grade, and my engineer took them all, or was this Chris Sabat? Might have been Chris who did this. I think it was Chris. Took them all, totally something he would do. Put them together, and then put porn music behind the track, and then put the sound of bed springs behind it. So it sounded like I was making a porn. And then at the end, he included a line that I'd said in the show, something like, "I'm out of here," or something like that. So one of my very first experiences at Funimation was a little humiliating.
Do you guys ever play weird games on your board, like Hide the Saltine or something like that?
We have yet to play a game of Hide the Saltine. I don't know how we ever escaped it.
Things to do.
You should. It's fun.
Yes.
Do you think that Claymore should have a little bit more exposure, or do you think it's like an underexposed show?
Claymore, I don't know if it's the exposure. I really like that show, and I think it was really well done in the original Japanese too, which is something to be said for it. It's not always the case. And I think that there is a market for it. I don't know that all of the exposure has happened yet. That's one of those sleeper shows that kind of comes out and then they're expecting it to do more later on. So that might be happening. In Claymore, I produced it and I played Galatea, and then I directed. While I was producing it, I was switching out directors. I was going through a changeover in my employees, and so at some point I directed a couple episodes, like 4 or something.
I know this is gonna be old, but can you say Roy Mustang is dead sexy in Teresa?
That's why we have the internet.
Roy Mustang is dead sexy. And a talentless hack. Not Travis, Roy. The second? Yeah, it's finished, long finished. I can't believe it hasn't come out. Oh, that's good to hear, because sometimes when we're making the commentaries, it's like, seriously, they haven't already heard this before. Oh, good to know. That's good to know. Say a little more. Actually, that's pretty smart of them. You have to buy the DVD in order to get the commentary. Well, okay, let me say about that. Any of the box sets that you get from Funimation, which are all stunningly gorgeous, are all designed by a guy named Antamir Robinson, who is amazing. He's a terrific graphic artist, and he does a lot of what he does is research from Japan, taking what they've done or something maybe almost like a B track of what they've done and like rearranging it or finding his own. He does such a good job with it. So give some applause to him online if you ever get a chance.
I know you played Shuffle and Karaha. How was that? Like, it's a kind of off show. And I heard something about a second season of that.
Okay, she's asking about Shuffle. I haven't heard anything about a second season, so it might just be because I don't know if we're not getting it or if it hasn't happened or what. But Karaha and my part in that is a lot higher than I'm used to. So that was fun. She's a fun role. Producing it was interesting. Producing it was one of those shows that we were working from a little different kind of translation, which meant we weren't exactly completely positive what we were doing all the time. We had to keep checking it, and at the end we had to have the Japanese make sure that everything was right. So it was a little harder to produce than normal, but. So far, and I can't explain that. I was really anxious for it to come out. I think I've been watching so much of what I'm producing right now, I don't have time to watch any more anime. I know that a lot of people have been saying that the first few episodes you kind of have to get through because they're catching up. They're just kind of catching up on what happened the previous. Right. Right, yeah. Right.
So I call it posting like a jump start to when it finally starts, which is the third episode.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still leading right up to where it's supposed to be.
End of story. Watch FMA Brotherhood. Yes.
I know you don't do any more stage work, but what was your favorite character play as stage work?
She's asking what my favorite character was that I did on the stage, which would actually be the very last show I did, which maybe that's why I went out on a bang. I haven't done anything in 5 years. God. It was the play that I did with Travis. We did a play called Naked by the River, which I was a little. And it was a lot of fun. It was kind of a romantic comedy drama sort of thing, where I was a lawyer and he was a paralegal and stuff. And it was a lot of fun. We had fun playing off each other. Not like that.
Have you ever felt, like, when you first started going to conventions, have you ever felt like, did you ever feel awkward when you saw somebody cosplaying a character that you did a voice for, or even were like cross-playing a character?
It doesn't feel awkward, no. To see somebody cosplaying as one of your characters is kind of nice. It's fun, depending on how they look in the costume. But and regardless, it's nice. It's a tribute to the show that you've done. When I first started out, it was taking pictures of every time I saw it. And now it's like, ah, there's Loki. Yes.
Yeah, you did the video game for Fullmetal way before the anime, right? Do you recognize?
Not way, but yeah.
Do you recognize
I don't. Who are you?
Armini from the first video game?
Wow, I never played the video game,
It
so.
was really good. And you like, I liked the little, they had the thing that you did where you were on the typewriter at the very end, and like recapping what happened. It was really cool.
You remember a lot better than I do. Yes. I majored in acting. I started out as a BA, Bachelor of the Arts, yeah. And then my second semester there, I turned BFA, which basically means you may not do anything but act. I got, thankfully I did some honor seminars because I got to do something other than acting, because really all it was back and forth between the two theater buildings. And the rest of people, somebody asked me here actually if I recommended FSU, and I didn't see FSU. It was theater. I made the transition from theater to voice acting because of Laura Bailey. She introduced me up at Funimation, and as soon as I got involved there, I kept acting in theater for a while, but when I started directing as well and writing, I didn't have time to do theater, and now I still don't. I haven't had time to do theater in quite a while. But of the 4 jobs that I've done for Funimation, which are acting, directing, writing, and producing, I definitely like acting. Producing would be a second, but a distant second. All I've ever wanted to do is act, so.
How'd you get from Florida State to Texas?
I was actually raised in Texas. I went away to Florida State, and then I came back to Dallas afterwards. I came back to Dallas to earn money to go to New York. Didn't happen.
They're giving away the God panties. Do you happen to own a pair of God panties?
I do not own a pair of God panties. I have seen them.
What?
I've seen them twice. Once I wish I hadn't. Yes.
Wow.
Oh goodness.
Anything else?
Do you have like anything, like most people go all out for anime? Is there anything like you have that you'd be like, oh my gosh, I love this, must have it?
I'm really not much of a collector. I know and appreciate a lot of people who are. I've never been a collector. No matter what I've been a fan of, I just have never been. I think what I like is the show. That's what I like. So I want to watch the show, and I'll watch it over and over again if I really like it. But I don't care, okay, I'm a huge fan of Friends. Watched Friends over and over again. I'm such a girl. It's just one of those shows that you put on to make you happy. And I have no Friends paraphernalia. I'm not gonna go out and get the little thing that goes around the peephole on the door. Yes, I am. That sounds awesome. You haven't asked a question yet. You. When I was at Florida State, my worst subject. When I went to Florida State, I had taken AP classes when I was in high school. So because Florida State isn't, that high up the food chain on colleges, they took all of my AP credits. So I didn't have to do anything for my credits except math and science. For science, I took a class called Life in the Universe, which was an honor seminar about the possibility of life on Mars, and it was awesome. For math, I took 2 semesters of math for the liberal arts major, which is math for idiots. They basically assume we will give you these classes because because we know that other than grocery shopping, you are never going to use math. It was like, what is a triangle? It was ridiculous. And so I hated it because I had to show up because of attendance mandatory. Stupid. Yes.
What animes that you're not going to like?
Anime that I didn't get to do that I like? Well, I'm not in Soul Eater, and I think Soul Eater is an awesome show. Although I wouldn't change the cast at all. Like I would just like them to add me a character. And I will be in it. I'm in it coming up, but not yet. And Fruits Basket, I think, is a really great show. I would have liked to have been in that, but it was before my time, and they had a great cast for it. Horror convention stories. I don't have too many, you guys. You guys are all great. It's never fun to get, like, once in every 20 cons, I'll get a question that is, they don't realize they're being mean, but they'll be mean. Like, oh God, something about, how do you feel about the fact that you're not as good as Lucy Christian? Which, okay, if Lucy's there, or if, in that particular sentence, like if they actually said that to me, I would think that was hysterical. That would not offend me at all, because Lucy's awesome, and also it's funny. But they'll say something along those lines that's like, dude, come on. What do I think about, I don't know, my character not being as cool as the rest of the other characters? I don't know. I didn't draw it, leave me alone. So that's not fun. I don't have any major stories. I had somebody realize which room I was staying in at a hotel and congregate. There was some waiting outside of the door. I've definitely had people ask for an autograph while I was in the bathroom. That happens a lot. So I guess they figure they'll skip the line. I don't know, everybody's usually really nice.
Well, if not horror, then how about weird things? Besides the autographs.
Weird situations. There was one guy at Anime Vegas who got a picture with me and Laura, and he came around the table to get a picture to stand between me and Laura, and right as the picture was being taken, he grabbed our boobs. He got kicked out, but I mean, that was less than cool. And stuff like that, like just the exception makes you really wary, which really sucks because all of you are so terrific, but then like Greg gets slipped LSD in a chocolate that a fan gives him. And so now we can't eat any of the homemade stuff that you give us. You know, people will bring you cookies that they made for you and I can't eat one. I can accept them and pretend I'm gonna, but I can't eat one because Greg got slipped LSD, you know? Yeah. Well, it couldn't have happened to a guy who has experimented better. So, if that had happened to me, if somebody slipped me LSD, oh my gosh, I would have been calling my dad. Daddy!
I didn't think he was an orange.
Just want to know, since you've done acting and writing and producing and directing, is there something that you really want to do?
Other than acting, directing,
anything that you would like to accomplish?
Oh, that's a great question. Do you mean in the anime sphere?
In that or in your career?
In my career, okay. There are two things that I've always really, really wanted to do, and I say always. Actually, one of them I've always wanted to do. One I've wanted to do since I became a voice actor. I really want to do books on tape. Like CD books. I would love to do that. I wanted to do that all my life. Like as soon as I found out that there were books on tape, I was like, you read books for a living? Yes, I will do that. Sign me up for that. So I want to do that badly. Also, it's a romance novel because I couldn't do that. They do romance novels on tape. Can you imagine having to say that stuff into a microphone? His throbbing what? No. No, she didn't. They zipped it back up and they went out for tea. then I really, since I started voice acting, I really wanted to maybe open my own commercial acting company. I'd like to be able to produce commercials. I know a lot of voice actors really dislike that part of voice acting. I love commercials. I like doing them. I think they're fun. And so I'd like to do industrials and commercials and produce them myself.
If you could make an anime, what would it be about?
There would be magic involved. I like magic. Let's see, magic. I would like to make Harry Potter the anime. How badass would that be? And I would like to be in it. Yeah. You know what though? America's gonna do it first. You know there's gonna be a Harry Potter cartoon. You know there's gonna be one, and I'm not gonna be in it. Yeah, it could be good. It could be good. I'm not gonna judge before I see it, but I want to be in it.
Who would you want to be?
See, I love Hermione, but I could never be Hermione. I sound too old. Where do I want to be? Can I be a boy?
Sure, why not?
How old are they? You know? Like Draco? Could I be Draco? Because that would be cool. I would love to be McGonagall. Ooh, I could play this game for a while, you guys, so I'm gonna stop. Yeah. Oh, that's like karaoke. I hate you. No, I can't do it. I can't.
Okay, I know you have many stories, but what is one of your many or few happy moments at a convention?
Happy moments at a convention. Okay. Well, it was early on, and it was all crazy. Like, anytime anybody wanted my autograph, I was like, really? Like, they would come through the line, get everybody else's autograph, come to me and give me something. I'd be like, really? Okay, sure. Like I'm gonna sully their thing that they have that I'm gonna sign. I don't want to ruin your poster of me. And actually, a couple of bad moments of that, of like, they give it to me and I'm about to sign it, and they're like, oh, actually, wait, no, never mind. Which, you guys have to understand, those are the exceptions, but they're gonna happen to everybody. Everybody has had that moment of like, I was off the subject, sorry, but I was in New Zealand with Brina Valencia, and we both had a bad moment that was awesome. There was one moment where they had me sign something for Full Metal Alchemist, and Brina Valencia plays Nina Tucker in Full Metal Alchemist. Right? Great character. Apparently too small for this guy. So I sign it, and then I was like, she actually plays Nina Tucker in that. And he was like, okay, can you sign it to a little smaller? Which we laughed about for weeks. And then there was one guy who came up to me and asked me to do my Luffy voice, and I did it, and he goes, runs out the door. We don't know if he thought it was crazy to sound it coming out of my mouth, or if he thought it sounded so bad he had to run away. Okay, so good experiences. Early on, I had somebody who just was shaking when she came up to me and crying when she came up to me, and she said that she'd flown all the way to wherever I was, it was like in Louisiana or something, from Canada to see me. And it was one of those moments that's like, what I'm doing matters. Okay. Are you sure? Yeah, so, yes.
Have you ever done anything theater related that was musical theater related?
I've never done any well, okay, that's a lie. I don't sing. I am not a singer. I have, however, had to sing in a lot of animes. As soon as I get a role, you know there's gonna be a song in episode 16 the director doesn't know about. But I did do a musical in high school that I auditioned for because my teacher was like, no, I know you don't sing, but you are auditioning. You are going to audition. So I auditioned. And I did the singing audition, which I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. And then I got the part, of one of the lead roles in Crazy for You. And they cut the song. Which, yeah, that's actually really a relief, but very fast. Crazy for you? Yeah. Oh, well, you can't compete, hang on. Okay, go.
She's thinking of Roy.
Who is this? Oh, yeah.
She was thinking of Roy.
Right. Yeah, it's no secret that Riza likes Roy. No, are you kidding? I've had to do sex noises. Yeah, no. Not weird. Sex noises are weird when you have to do them. Especially because I know all of the voice actors now. It's like, oh, I'm really gonna do this with Michael Tatum. He's gay! Most embarrassing moments while recording? Let's see. Okay, I was recording, and there were a bunch of people who sometimes you'll get tours that go through the building of either investors or students or something like that, people who sign up to go on a tour of Funimation. So they'll come in and watch you record for a little while, which usually is totally great. They came in and were watching me, and the director was giving me direction, and I was doing what we call a wild take. So I get the line, and then he's giving me direction, and he wants me to just do it again without waiting for it to go back through. No beeps, just go ahead and do it. So I keep on doing it, and he gives me a direction, and he's like, no, like, oh no, I can't believe you did that. And so I thought he meant, say, oh no, I can't believe you did that. So I actually just said, oh no, I can't believe you did that. And the whole room cracked up. Chris Sabat has a habit of scaring me when I'm in the booth. Especially at his studio, because the door of the booth is behind you, and the door that comes into the studio is behind that. So he can easily get in there and like open the door really quick, and then he's got a file of me going, There are those moments. I don't have any really terrible ones. I'm not Laura, I don't knock stuff down. Right? I don't knock stuff down because of my enthusiasm in the booth.
I know you're talking about Game Michael Tatum. Is it kind of weird seeing him do
I thought you just said Game Michael Tatum. I'm allowed to poke fun at him because I love it.
Is it kind of weird seeing him? He's so serious doing the European holiday, but then he does comedy and the Gray Man, and they're like polar opposites, and it's just kind of weird to see that. And I love all of the roles he's done.
He's terrific, and he's many-layered, and he's got a lot of voices, and you just kind of expect him to...
And he has like the best bloopers in all of them.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
it's terrible.
He's a funny man. He's a very, very smart man. You will not meet a smarter one.
Beg him to come with me next year if we get invited.
I'm sure he'd come as soon as anybody invited him. He'd love to.
Attack the staff.
On the subject of Pollock, of all the personalities that Yuko has shown in the anime, which one did you like the most about her?
It's really hard. I really like her I know more than everybody else in the world thing that she's got going on. But most of my favorite moments are the funnier ones. My two favorite moments in that are probably the one with the snowball fight when she's on the cliff and she goes, hooray! Which just happened, I just did it, like that was just a joke take, and they kept it. And then he asks why he has to wear those headphones that have ears, and she's like, because it's funny! I like that. So probably the funnier ones.
What was your favorite line you had to say in Full Metal Alchemist?
Favorite line in Full Metal Alchemist? It might have been one of Rose's, but I don't know specifically what it would have been. I enjoyed saying, you know, you're useless in the ring. That was right around the time I think we were in a play together. So. No, maybe not. No, it was actually later than that.
probably the one where Rose is like, after Ed scolded her, and she shows up later and she's like, we have legs, we'll get up and use them or something like that.
Oh no, I don't like the cheesy ones. What else? Yeah. Voice acting or theater? I prefer voice acting. If theater made more money, I might prefer it. But you can't make a living doing theater. So there's that. There's the thing that theater has that voice acting doesn't have is that you get to you get a whole character. With voice acting, you get that character when you watch it, but when you're voice acting, you're just doing it line by line, you know? So I'm not getting the whole scene. I just do my line and then we move on to the next line. So I don't always know everything that's going on. So there's that. It's not quite as organic, which is an actor-y term. I would love to do a prelay. Yeah, prelay is like American cartoons. Basically, it means that you record it first, the voices are first, and then they animate it to those voices. And I would love to do that, not just because you get some freedom in the characters, but also because it pays like 6 times more. Wow. So, dubbing is a lot harder. General Armstrong? I thought he was funny. I thought he got funnier as he went. It was like the animators or the story writers were like, and then this happens and that's funny. That was really funny. That happened again. That might happen for a couple episodes. You know what? That's his thing. That's what happens. Yeah. I love it. I think he's great. I like the backstory episode. Other people. I can't believe you've even seen that show. That's great. I liked that she would tell people off. Like, she was very natural, very close to my voice. This is in Black Blood Brothers. She was very natural, very close to my voice, and she had attitude. I liked that. So she got to do the sweet thing, and then she got to do the stop it! I don't do shy very well. That would be why. I don't know why I'm so shy. Favorite character that I've done so far?
Yeah.
It's always so hard. That's so hard. And why? There's so many. I really liked the experience of doing Rose Anderson in Salty Ray because she was very close to my voice, so she was a natural character. She had absolutely all of the range. She fought, she was sweet, she was funny, she had like split personality thing at one point. She did the drama thing and cried in the rain. Yeah. So I really enjoyed that. And I think one of the reasons I enjoyed it is because I really liked how it was recorded. We actually recorded that one at Chris Abbott's studio in Okerton, and they mixed it. This is actually this just turned into a different question. Yours tend to for some reason. That was one of those shows that he mixed while we were doing it. So like when I was shouting up to Roy in the rain in the alleyway, he made it sound like, the engineer, Raleigh Pickens, made it sound like I was in an alleyway. He puts that effect on it, or like that slightly echoing effect, that kind of thing. If I'm in a room, he puts an effect on it, so it sounds like it's in a room, that kind of thing. So I got to actually act the way it was going to be. I could hear the finished product, which you guys don't realize we don't get to do. Sometimes there's no actors who have recorded before us, so we're acting to another character who's not saying anything. We just see the flaps and then they're not saying anything because they haven't acted yet. So you'll be missing that. Sometimes the elements haven't come in from Japan, which means we don't have the music or the sound effects. So we'll be acting in a complete vacuum. And we don't ever have the mixing. So that was a very special experience, and it felt good and complete. How am I doing on time? 10 more minutes. Yes.
Have you ever got to meet like your counterparts, the actors in Japan?
I did just recently, finally got to meet one. I met the girl who played Mitsuki in Rumbling Hearts. And that was interesting.